you decide. Fox 4 News.
Good morning. Welcome back to Fox 4 Rising on your Friday morning. And we may have some Friday fog, but right now, for you commuters, it's looking decent out there. Our only, I guess you could say, trouble spots are in the northern communities, but at 7 miles of visibility, not really any problems at all. We're going to let you know if that could change throughout the morning with Tony Sadiku coming up next.
New off the wires this morning, Belgian prosecutors have launched a public appeal for any information on that man-in-the-hat suspect in the Brussels airport suicide bombings. This is brand new surveillance footage of the third attacker at the Brussels airport. His identity still unknown. He's believed to have left a bomb at the airport and then slipped away. Authorities are asking for people to come forward with information on his whereabouts. He was seen with 2 suicide bombers who died in the March 22nd attacks. 32 people died in the airport and subway attack.
Also brand new into our newsroom, a major Tampa area road is expected to reopen today after a huge fire closed the road for almost 2 days. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday on Rising. Firefighters were finally able to put out the fire at the Amphitheater nightclub in Ybor City. The blaze started Wednesday night. According to fire officials, the fire may have been caused by a welder doing work on the building. No injuries have been reported. The building did suffer damage, but it is expected to still be structurally sound.
New video just into our newsroom shows the aftermath of a bus that crashed onto the front lawn of a home in Baltimore, Maryland, late last night. Our sister station in Maryland says the MTA bus collided with another vehicle before driving onto the lawn of the house. 3 people were transported to area hospitals. 1 person is in serious condition. Fire officials say the bus did not hit the house.
5:31, we're covering the races you decide. A new poll is showing most Americans have severe disdain for Donald Trump. 7 in 10 Americans, including close to half of Republican voters, have an unfavorable view of Trump. Even in the South, a region where Trump has won big during the GOP primaries, close to 70% of Americans view him unfavorably. On the Democratic side, even though Bernie Sanders pledged to avoid negative attacks, he is targeting Hillary Clinton with direct accusations.
I will not leave here this morning and go to a Wall Street fundraiser. I will not leave. Not be hustling money from the wealthy and the powerful.
There are those jabs at Clinton. Clinton, meanwhile, says Sanders hasn't done his homework and that he'd, quote, been talking for more than a year about doing things that he obviously hadn't really studied or understood. The 2 candidates will debate next week in New York. Maybe that's when those gloves are going to come off.
I think they already have.
They've been pretty mild, yeah, for the most part, until now.
Okay, well, today, Senator Marco Rubio will be holding a press conference talking about the Zika virus right here in Florida.
Yeah, Rubio has met with state, local, and Puerto Rican officials recently at his Miami office. He's then going to address current cases and prevention efforts. Fox 4 Rising's Mark Jackman is live at Lee County Mosquito Control, which plays a key role here in Southwest Florida. Mark?
Kelly Warren, as the weather begins to get warmer and mosquitoes become more prevalent, Marco Rubio says that he's encouraged by the immediate action taken by the White House administration by using unused Ebola funds towards fighting the Zika outbreak. Now, out of the presidential race, Marco Rubio is in a new race against the encroaching Florida mosquito season. Rubio says he hopes that congressional Republicans and the White House administration can come to an agreement on critical funding items before rising temperatures bring more mosquitoes. A week ago, the Centers for Disease Control said the United States is not prepared for the inevitable. But Rubio says he's taken action in Florida so that U.S. Customs and Border Protection can take action to prepare for the outbreak and ensure that airports and seaports in Florida are properly staffed and equipped. But the Center for Disease Control says it's only a matter of time before there's an outbreak in the United States. Pregnant mothers are most vulnerable to the virus because of the birth defects it can cause in developing babies. And in the 80 or so reported cases of Zika here in Florida, most of them have been travel-related, with one exception being sexually transmitted. Marco Rubio's meeting will be held today at approximately noon. We're live here in Buckingham. Mark Jackman, Fox 4 Rising.
Mark, thank you. It is 5:34. Hurricane hunters will be staying in Florida. NOAA says it plans to find a home for its planes about 50 miles from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. For the last 2 decades, NOAA has been flying Hurricane Hunter aircraft out of Hangar 5 at MacDill, but now the Air Force wants the hangar back, and NOAA will have to leave by July 2017. The move is expected to happen after this year's hurricane season.
All right, and hopefully the hurricane hunters don't get a whole lot of flight time this summer, as hopefully we see a pretty quiet hurricane season. Of course, we'll be tracking it for you as the time comes. This morning, though, we are keeping our eyes on the fog this morning, and it looks like it's generally okay, although we did have some trouble spots earlier in Punta Gorda. If you are leaving now, you won't have much issues out there, as visibilities elsewhere looking A-okay as well. I do expect that we'll see variable visibilities until about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then much of that should have burned off. Winds generally light and calm. Working against the fog situation, we like to have at least some wind out there to create the fog out there, but right now winds calm, and that should help to keep conditions looking clear for your morning commute. Those temperatures you're waking up to, we're seeing some low 60s, 61 Lehigh, 65 here locally, seeing some upper 50s though in Charlotte County, as well as Arcadia at 57. Your hour-by-hour forecast looking fantastic on your Friday. Check it out. We go for 80 degrees by 2 o'clock. Loads of sunshine in the forecast. Just a couple of clouds out there today, but certainly not going to be a big deal. The dew points are coming up a little bit now, closer to 60 for today, so just a little bit sticky out there, but not bad. Outdoor activities looking okay. We'll get a cold front that will move through here overnight into the weekend, and that will not only bring us some cooler weather, but also lower humidity as we head into the weekend. So if you do have weekend plans, it's looking fantastic. Temperatures about 5 degrees or so below average for this time of the year. Breezy conditions, and it's looking A-okay both Saturday and Sunday. We'll take another look at your forecast in about 10 minutes. Right now, Stephanie's got you covered on the roads.
Now, on-time traffic brought to you by Associates and Bruce L. Shiner, attorneys for the injured.
Good Friday morning. Already quite a few accidents this morning. I know it's Friday. Everybody's rushing to get out the door. Remember to take it slow out there. We've got an accident in Lehigh Acres on Alabama Road at 50th Street Southwest. Traffic doesn't look too bad in the area right now. 82 in Lehigh Acres looking good. No roadblock reported with this accident in Lehigh Acres, so just be mindful of that, as well as this disabled vehicle that they're still working to get cleared up off the road at Bellacourt and Lee Boulevard. That is a look at your traffic. We'll send it back to the desk.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. 537, Cape Coral Police getting help from a canine neighbor to bust a grow house. Yosvani Sanchez and Katia Ruiz both charged with producing and trafficking marijuana. Investigators say they were growing and selling pot out of a home on Northwest 33rd Terrace that's just off Santa Barbara Boulevard. One of the dealer's next-door neighbors is a retired police officer whose dog still knows how to sniff out pot and says it wasn't hard for the dog to get a whiff of the drugs.
I just give him the command. His command is Gifty, and then he knows he's working, and he's going to look for the Gifty. And when he finds Gifty, he sits, and he gets his reward.
Police say it's not uncommon for pot growers to have weapons and use violence if threatened, so neighbors are fortunate it didn't turn into that. And they always say, know who your neighbors are.
Okay, well, a street redevelopment in Naples is sparking protests and causing controversy. The project is redesigning Central Avenue. This is part of the city's Blue Zone initiative to make it easier for cyclists and pedestrians to get around. But protesters at the groundbreaking ceremony yesterday were voicing some concerns about the traffic routing changes and how that will affect business in the area.
If you're going down Central Avenue going west, you have to cross 41, go up to 8th, go around the roundabout, come back to 41, go through 41, and then you get into my business.
Naples Mayor Bill Barnett insists businesses will be pleasantly surprised when the project wraps up in September, but at least one business owner says he's now considering legal action against the city.
538, fewer shoppers are going to Gap. The clothing retailer once again posting disappointing sales results for the last year. This disappointing news for the company comes as a clothing ad posted by Gap is causing a stir on social media. What do you think? The ad features 4 young girls. Take a look, but it's how they're photographed that's causing controversy with some. 4 in Your Corner Stephanie Tinoco going to the streets of Southwest Florida to see what customers really think about the ad.
Tell me, what do you see in this picture?
Okay, a bunch of kids. Gymnastics.
Kaylee Alvarez is looking at this picture of 4 girls posing for a Gap ad. This ad is causing quite the commotion on social media. So I asked her and other shoppers if they saw anything out of the ordinary before telling them why it's trending.
Yeah, I mean, while they're doing the poses, it's weird.
I mean, that was kind of weird, like what she's doing. She's like upside down and her legs are like face the other way.
Close, but not quite. People are blowing up Facebook and Twitter, saying this picture shows passive racism of a white girl resting her arm on this young black girl's head.
It surprises me. I didn't really see anything wrong.
I think anyone could take anything as being racist if they really tried. But I wouldn't take that as racist.
But other people think so, and they're very vocal with their opinions, like this mother on Twitter, calling Gap's ad a major fail, saying she won't be shopping for her daughters at the store anymore. Others are calling for a boycott of the clothing store and its advertising agency. But there's passion on both sides. People defending the company argue a similar but older photo showing a black girl resting her arm on a young white girl's head shows the ad isn't meant to harm anyone.
In the other picture, it's the exact opposite, which again, I don't think is racist either.
It's ridiculous. I don't know why people would think that way. But I saw them all as regular kids.
Stephanie Tinoco, Fox 4, in your corner.
What do you think? Well, Gap heard feedback from customers and has replaced the picture. You can read Gap's full statement sent to Fox 4 on our website, fox4now.com.
Okay, creating a new concept plane that'll be quieter than anything else in the sky.
Coming up on Rising, the new plane that designers are calling a Prius in the skies. Hopefully it doesn't go as slow. You know what I mean, those Prius owners. We'll be right back, 5:41.
Especially up in the air.
He's been turned down. Commence operation.
Hey!
You need a car.
I got turned down for credit.
Turned down for what?
For credit.
Sorry, earwax. Turned down for what?
Credit.
Drive time won't turn you down, regardless of credit.
Cool.
Save yourself. Get approved at Drive Time First. Call, click, or visit.
Every family has one member who says whatever's on their mind. Name a part of your body with hair you've never once cut or trimmed.